So good afternoon, and I hope you are doing good. My name is Somnoma Valerie Ouedraogo, and I am Associate Professor at Makiwan University at the School of Social Work, and the school is in Canada, in Edmonton. It's my pleasure to connect with you today and present some first-hand results of a project that I am doing, and the project title is Environmental Sustainability in Social Work, a questionnaire and focus group study. And today, my presentation is going to be more around environmental sustainability in social work education and praxis, because I'm going to present you some first-hand results of the project. But before starting, I just want to do a land and kinship acknowledgement as following. So I want to acknowledge indigenous people and communities in Treaty 6 territory, that means in Edmonton here in Canada, where my university is located. And in this Treaty 6 territory is where indigenous people and indigenous communities are calling home. I also want to acknowledge my African Black ancestors, people and communities in and outside the African continent, for the victories, successes, and harmony they contributed to the humanity and the natural world. That being said, my pleasure is to present this poster with you today, and I am going to first start with an introduction around some background, and this background is how the study is related to social work in general, both nationally but also internationally. So a background around sustainability is that we as a world, we are facing an environmental crisis that is caused by humans activities, and these consequences are disproportionately impacting vulnerable and marginalized population that we social workers are serving. So, and because of that, we get to have some submit, and I'm trying to enlarge a little bit the test here so you can follow up with me. So because of that, we know we first had global action and awareness that is being done in 1979. That was the first World Climate Conference. And then we get an intergovernmental panel on climate change. This was introduced in 1988. So in 1994, we get the United Nations framework on climate change. This was followed by the Kyoto Protocol in 1997. So in 2015, and this going until 2030, we have now the 17th Sustainable Development Goal. So I'm bringing this global and international background to show you how this topic is related, not only nationally, but also internationally and global concern. So, and when we come back here, in our context as social worker, in 2018, the International Federation of Social Workers introduced the Climate Justice Program. And this program aims to educate, advocate, and be a change we social workers wish to see in the world through climate justice project in several countries. And when I relate that back to the context where I mean in Canada, so we have the Canadian Association of Social Workers that released a statement in 2020, and this statement release was emphasizing the severity of the issue amid the environmental crisis issue, and that climate change is one of the most significant problems facing the world today. And because of that, we social workers need to care about this issue. So the study that I am going to base on to present the first hand result through this poster. This study took place at the School of Social Work at Makiwan University, because this School of Social Work, through the bachelor program that is launched in 2016 has a course, a mandatory course titled Social Work and Sustainability. And based on this assumption that graduate students from this school will be exposed through readings, lecture, assignment, and discussion about sustainability to what we will call sustainability knowledge, we were interested through this study to know how these graduates after that are implementing sustainability knowledge into their praxis. The objective of this study is to identify the development and utilization of environmental sustainability in social work practice, to fill a gap of knowledge production that exists between sustainability knowledge and the impact in social work everyday practice, and to highlight social work fields favorable to sustainability knowledge. Two research questions was followed through this study. And the first question is, in what ways social workers who were exposed to knowledge of sustainability during their academic curriculum are implementing it into their social work practice? And the second research question is, does this exposure to this sustainability knowledge contribute to emphasize environmental sustainability into their practice? As I was telling and introducing, so the participant of this research, as I was telling, our participant are Makiwan School of Social Work Bachelor Degree Program alumni, cohort of 2016 to 2019 that took mandatory course titled Social Work and Sustainability during their social work curriculum. So inclusions criteria for participant were that they need to be from this cohort 2016-2019, they needed to be professionally active in social work field, part-time or full-time, or looking for a job in social work field. So that's for the study. Now I want to present the theoretical background of the study. So the study, the theoretical background is the eco-social theory, and we base that from the idea of this eco-social theory from Norton. And because this eco-social theory explains the interrelationship between sustainability and social work theories and praxis. Also, it really helps us support and define eco-social approach as anti-oppressive model of social work, and this views environmental sustainability as the core of sustainability topic. This theoretical background also aligns with critical theory, which provide both philosophy and method for approaching the presented study as explicit manifestation of connecting theory and praxis. So methodology that was used for this study is the study follows a qualitative research approach, and two data collections were being done: an open-ended questionnaire using Google form, and then during this open-ended questionnaire, we ask participants to let us know if they are willing and interested to participate to a focus group. And if they say yes, we ask them to provide us with an email address, and then we all follow up with this participant to do the focus group discussion later on using WebEx. So our data analysis that I'm going to present, the first and results are textual data of questionnaire and transcribed focus group are done through grounded theory and content analysis process. So the focus of this poster presentation is to present you the first and results of the participant. And these first and results are first around the definition of environmental sustainability that participant did share with us. Then social work practice field that participants find favorable to incorporate sustainability. Then we will also talk about barriers that participants share, barriers that they encounter while trying to incorporate sustainability. But before we move to that, I want to give you some brief results of who our participants were. So we did get 15 participants, and from the 15 participants, 14 of these participants also participated to the focus group discussion. So from these 15 participants, 11 participants were already active in social work field. And many of these participants work across community field, family support, mental health, and also employment field. So these was range alongside and really broad and diversified field. So the age range of our participants were 20 to 40 years old. So from the 15, 8 participants identify with she and her, and 3 participants identifies as male, and 4 participants didn't provide any information. The demographic information that we have will help us later on in the in-depth analysis of the data to relate these facts with the results of our research. So let us move to how these participants identify and define environmental sustainability. For all our 15 participants identify environmental sustainability or define as environmental sustainability in associating it with nature, with health, and with resources. So all the participants also really articulate the relationship of environmental sustainability to social work education and praxis, with social work helping function to heal harm, to promote equilibrium, and to prioritize thinkings, I mean ways of thinking that opening opportunities in connecting micro and macro level of social work praxis to environment. I want to conclude this part of the definition with a quote coming from participant 9. For me, environmental sustainability is related to social work in that we are trying to help heal, and live with the least amount of damage possible. This can be applied to both our work with people and our role within the environment we belong. To sum up, environmental sustainability is about the nature, is about health, and is about health resources and how we wisely use it to really emphasize in healing the crisis and healing the problem that we provoke and create, and also for us to promote equilibrium between nature and humans, and also to prioritize ways of thinking that will be really a healthy way of thinking between humans and nature, so that we can come back and we can really work alongside to promote more well-beings, and also be able to heal the environmental crisis that we have right now. That is the reason why also we have this conference, and I mean this summit around a new eco-social world. So how did our participants also identify what are fields of social work that are favorable to sustainability? Participants identify the work with individual children and families are favorable. They see community work, I mean community planning, community development, community participant as most favorable field to implement and to incorporate sustainability. They see and identify policy and political lobby work as the core field to enact environmental sustainability. So for the participant, yes, using the different level of praxis, individual, children, and family is favorable. Articulating more on community work is really where we need to emphasize on, and where we really need also to take actions and be more engaged is at policy level, and also lobbying with politics, so they can take best decision making to really in favor for environment and for humans being. So, and I'm also ending this with a quote of participant 11. While individuals reconnecting with natural environment is undoubtedly important, Those who work at a policy level and can lobby politicians into making massive regulatory change in favor of environmental sustainability can then influence great change overall. So a change to happen needs everybody and needs social work engagement more at policy level and also at political lobbying. Now, what are barriers that participants are experiencing while trying to incorporate and implement sustainability in their social work daily practice? Participants overall view ecocentric, capitalist, neoliberal, and neoconservative ideals are challenging to be able to incorporate sustainability. And they said that unfortunately, these ideals are also part of social work education and praxis ideas. So the fact that we also focus on basic need and safety in daily practice as the sources of real roadblocks, because we don't really as social worker get to go in the root problem. We kind of only try to focus more on the basic need. And for many of these participants, we need to go in the root problem to be able to really achieve sustainability practice in our work. So participants also identify low awareness around sustainability topic, resistance from co-worker, resistance of agencies, lack of confidence from participants themselves to promote sustainability's idea and knowledge. And also they see shortage of research about sustainability, and as well as limited visual and theoretical material at workplaces to implement or promote or encourage sustainability ideas as barriers too. So I want to also summarize and finalize this part with a quote from participant 3. We are so focused on basic need and safety that the ability to think and work from a sustainable framework seems incredibly unreachable. So sustainability practice is about achieving long-term solution. And for many of our participants, this need also to be work because we are not there yet as social workers when we think about eco-social work. So I want to conclude this PowerPoint presentation with a quote from participant 10. And this quote is, that is a newer concept and consulting about it with managers and supervisors isn't easy as other theories and values because it isn't as widespread of a concept. Sometimes when you are so focused on the person, you can forget about their environment. And so I have to work on actively reminding myself. Hopefully, this can be something that comes naturally with time. This code is talking about implementing sustainability in social work daily practice. And for the participant, there is for sure barriers, but there is hope. Hope that once we achieve to recognize, implement sustainability, not only in our curriculum, but promote it as concept and practice in our field. The same, we promote other theories and concepts like strength-based, like anti-oppressive practice. Once we are able to achieve that, it will become natural and it will is the way to implement sustainability in social work daily practice. And that is a code of hope. And I want to conclude this presentation with this hope. And with this hope in telling and letting us know that environmental sustainability in social work is about a true professional readiness to transform the field, reframe academia, and integrate sustainability concepts, policy work, and assessment in daily practice until it becomes natural. I want to thank you for being with me in this presentation. But before finalizing that, I just want to introduce a little bit of the images that I use in this presentation, because they are related to the idea of opening the conversation, insisting and maintaining sustainability in our curriculum, encouraging social workers to implement it, and remaining hopeful that one day this can become normal and that we can achieve a better world, a better eco-social world. So this image is a calabash fruit, and this calabash fruit is being used. Once we have it, we can carve it and use it as a tool that can be used to carry on food, carry water, and it can carry a lot of things. These bowls can carry a lot of things. And I think that when we open sustainability, we can also carry on many things around social work's ways of doing and ways of thinking. And in doing so, once we are able to use this calabash to also carve, for example, a play tool, it reminds us of childhood, and we can use it as a normal tool to implement sustainability in our daily social work practice. And I hope this idea is what you are going to retain from this PowerPoint presentation. You will have references that is in the PowerPoint. And also, to finalize, I want to acknowledge that the project has been approved by McEwan University Research Ethics Board on, June 2020, and it was being renewed in 2021. I want also to acknowledge that the study has been funded by McEwan University Internal Project Grant. And I particularly want to acknowledge that 3 undergraduate McEwan University students has been involved in and mentored as research assistant through all of the phases of this research. And that being said, I want to thank you, and I'm going to reduce so you can see the overall picture of the PowerPoint presentation, even though it's not really visible, but that will be the PowerPoint presentation that I did share with you today. And thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to questions that you will be having around this project and around the next step of the data analysis and publication that will follow up for this research. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to interact with you in June around the topic. Thank you.